What's up, guys? Welcome to a new episode of the Elite Self Show. This is episode 16, and I've been getting a lot of good reviews and feedback from you guys saying certain episodes have helped you. I got a lot of good reviews from the time management episode, and just some overall positive reviews. So I appreciate you guys who are listening, and I'm excited to keep pumping out some awesome stuff for you. Some stuff that can help you become the elite version of yourself, so you can achieve your max potential in life and in business. And today I want to kind of break down for you the definition of elite self and how to actually apply it to your life in general, and also immediately change the trajectory of your entire life and set you up to sustainably continue to change the trajectory of your entire life through this little formula I'm going to give you here. And so first and foremost, I know it's big talk, by the way. I know it's a bold statement, but I'm about to back it up. And so first and foremost, let's go over kind of the first aspect of what elite self is. And this is the aspect or the side of the coin that most people are kind of familiar with when we talk about your elite self or best self or max potential self, which is this idea you have in your mind about who you can become and what you can create. So first and foremost, if you are able to, I want you to close your eyes. If you're driving or working out, honestly, if you're working out, just close your eyes on the leg extension machine, just zone out for a little bit. No one will notice. And I just want you to imagine, if you're driving, obviously don't close your eyes. I just want you to imagine the vision you have for your life and your business, right? The whole shebang, right? What do you want to create? What do you want to achieve? What do you want to experience? How do you want to impact the world? And I want you to approach this from not a place of, how is this going to happen? What's realistic? What's not realistic? What are my friends going to think? What's my family going to think? Those factors are irrelevant. This is a conversation between you and you. And so I want you to approach this from a point of, what is my max potential? Like, if I could snap my fingers, like, what would be like the max potential, my dream life, like everything there, right? You might have a certain level of business that's bringing in a certain amount of revenue, that's generating a certain lifestyle for you. You have certain houses, cars, you have maybe a private jet, you have a certain level of relationship with your spouse, you have a certain type of inner circle with your friends, you have a certain type of travel schedule, you're visiting different countries. You're impacting the world in a certain way. Maybe you're impacting your community, or maybe you're impacting a country or a specific issue within multiple countries, or a major world problem. You're moving the needle in that department. What does it look like for you? Your vision. Maybe your vision is to just become like a successful entrepreneur and set a good role model for your family and live by your principles and impact the world in little ways you can. Whatever your vision is, I want you to imagine it, okay? The max potential of it. Don't get caught up in the weeds of what's realistic and how it will happen. Just imagine the max potential version of your vision. And now picture it in your mind. At least, like, there's multiple different aspects of it. There's different timelines of it, right? But just picture something in your mind regarding your vision, right? And now I want you to evaluate what version of yourself is actually in that reality. What body do you have? What level of health do you have? What level of energy do you have on a daily basis? What are your thoughts? What are your beliefs? What are your skills? What are your routines like? What's your day in the life? How dialed in are you with your habits and your sleep and your nutrition? How dialed in is your calendar and your time management? What are you not doing anymore? What are you no longer addicted to? What are you no longer doing? What behavior do you no longer have? What tendencies do you no longer have? Imagine yourself physically, mentally, emotionally. What version of yourself is in that reality? What version of yourself, this question is asking, what version of yourself do you have to develop into in order to actually make that reality a reality, or make that vision a reality? Okay? And this is where most people kind of stop. It's like, yeah, I want this vision, and I can kind of get a sense of who I have to become in order to actually materialize it. And then that's just where they stop. And then they just, toss that to the side and go back to their life, right? Not here, guys. This is where the juice really happens, because that is great. It's important to define your vision. It's important to define who you must become in order to materialize your vision. But it doesn't exist, right? It's an idea. It's a vision. That's all it is, right? The only thing we have is the current version of ourselves and the current present moment. That's where the change happens, if any. And so what we need to do is siphon as many characteristics and traits and behaviors and thought patterns as we can from that version of ourselves we just defined into the current version of ourselves, because the current version of ourselves is the one with the power. Okay? And so this is where my statement at the start comes into play, which is you can change the entire trajectory of your life by asking one simple question. And please write this down in your notes or somewhere, or remember to write it down later. What would my elite self do? This question is extremely powerful and can be applied to a variety of different situations. In fact, any situation. What would my elite self do? You have an idea, as we just defined, of the version of yourself you must become to create your dream life, right? Now, you're asking yourself a question and essentially cornering your brain into giving you a very, very cutthroat, productive answer. What would my elite self do? The moment you wake up and you're considering pressing snooze, what would my elite self do? My elite self would get up right now. Boom. That's going to be the answer, by the way, for 99% of you. If your elite self presses snooze, all power to you. But for 99% of you, your elite self is going to say, nope, get up. When you're considering going to the gym or not, ask yourself, what does my elite self do? When you find yourself wasting time and scrolling on your phone and you ask yourself, what would my elite self do right here? The phone goes down, the laptop opens, the book opens, you get moving in some productive action with your business or self-growth, right? If some stressful situation comes up, how would my elite self react to this? How would they think about this? How would they approach this problem? And then through a simple question, you're able to level up the playing field that you're operating on, and you get to see life from a whole different vantage point. And you're going to take much more productive action. When you're at the grocery store and you're at the chocolate bar section, ask yourself, what would my elite self do right here? And I eat chocolate sometimes. There's nothing inherently wrong about, chocolate. It's, that's a whole other conversation around moderation in your diet. But if you know it's a gut call, if you know for you right now that chocolate is the wrong move, you're going to get the answer, let's go back to a more healthy section and look at food there, right? Any instance in your life, you ask yourself, what would my elite self do right here? You're going to get a high quality answer that will give you the opportunity to take high quality action. And just because you get the answer doesn't mean anything's changed. You actually have to follow through on the answer you get, right? And that's where a major separation happens, because most people don't like the answers they get. Their elite self, their higher self, they're going to say, like, what would my elite self do right here? Those answers sometimes are not going to be fun. They're not going to be comfortable. It's going to push you out of your comfort zone. It's going to force you to take action you don't normally take. It's going to force you to take action longer than you usually take action for. It's going to force you to expand. And this is uncomfortable, but this is what's required to grow and to achieve that vision. Because that vision that you defined, our first definition there, our first little activity, that's not going to happen unless you bring as much of your elite self as you can into the present moment. Because your elite self, siphoning as much of your elite self as you can over and over and over again, is how you're going to start showing up on a daily basis as the version of yourself that's actually capable of creating your vision, right? How do you need to, you need to be showing up as a certain version of yourself with a certain amount of energy, with a certain time management cadence, right? With certain behavioral tendencies. You need to let go of certain addictions or certain distractions, right? You need to stop eating food that drains your energy just because it's an emotional distraction mechanism, right? Or whatever it is for you. You need to start operating on a daily basis as much as you can as your elite self in order to actually create the max potential of your vision, whether that's through the vehicle of business or something else. Okay, and going back to my question or my statement at the start, my bold statement about how this can change the entire trajectory of your life, it can. Because if you get a workout into, let's evaluate person A versus person B here. Person B says, you know what, I'm just gonna not work out tonight, and we'll see where the day takes me tomorrow. Person B says, what would my elite self do right here? You know what, my elite self, committed to, I committed to like 3 workouts this week. I've only hit 1 so far. There's only 2 days left. I need to hit this workout right here. And then you go work out, and then you go home and you're feeling motivated. And you're like, okay, I'm going to plan my day tomorrow. I'm going to plan the next 2 days. Part of which is committing to the next workout tomorrow and also solidifying your schedule for the next day. And then boom, you're more productive the next day. You're more confident because you're following through on what you committed to, and you're doing the hard thing even when you don't feel like it. And then that is like a 10, 20, 30% difference in trajectory, right? If a plane's taking off from London, a 2% change in trajectory means the difference between landing in New York or Miami, right? And so asking yourself this question, what would my elite self do, is that 2% change where New York versus Miami is achieving your vision or not. Because if you consistently ask yourself, even multiple times a day, what would my elite self do here? What would my elite self do here? What would my elite self do here? You're going to start becoming, at a very rapid pace, your elite self, and you're going to become the version of yourself very quickly that is executing at higher levels in your life and in your business. That's going to create better results in your life and business. And then it's going to be a compounding effect up as opposed to a compounding effect down, which is what most people find themselves in. And so this is super effective. It's super simple. And I encourage you guys to think about this. One, again, define your vision, define who you must become in order to achieve that. Start to ask yourself, how can I show up as that version of myself as much right now? How can I start to become that version of myself? What is the low-hanging fruit that I can change immediately that would move me in a direction to a large extent of my elite self? For example, for a lot of people, especially a lot of people that we help in our program, the highest leverage area of urgent opportunity is their health and fitness. I think that the health and fitness piece is probably one of the most fundamental aspects of becoming your elite self, because time management and business execution and inner self growth and all these things are much harder when your body's unhealthy and you have low energy, right? So you need to make sure you're healthy. You need to make sure you're operating with good energy, right? Strong mind, strong body. And so maybe that's your low-hanging fruit to start moving towards your elite self, start becoming it, start showing up as it, right? Maybe committing to a workout routine or a nutrition protocol. Or maybe for you, it's your sleep schedule. Or maybe for you, it's an addiction to porn or masturbation that you need to let go of immediately, right? All these things are easier said than done, but nobody said that building your vision was easy. Nobody said becoming your elite self was easy. And so it's just choosing the pain that you want. You can either experience the pain of growth and the pain of commitment and the pain of discipline, or you can experience the pain of regret, knowing that you didn't max out your life and knowing that you didn't become the person you were meant to become. Both are a bit painful. I think that the regret piece is much more painful than discipline, but we ultimately have to make that choice each and every single day. So that's my message for you guys today. I hope that was useful. Please let me know how this episode impacted you, whether it was just articulating your vision and who you become, and maybe you started to make changes to start becoming that version immediately. Let me know what your low-hanging fruit was, what changes you made instantly. Feel free to let me know what your vision is and what you're working towards with your business or anything else, maybe your impact on the world. You guys can DM me on Instagram if you want and just say what's up. Give me any feedback from the episode that you have. These are on both YouTube and any podcast platform that you listen to. So if you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to comment that stuff down below. Any takeaways or feedback that you have, or if this helped you, please let me know. And what would also help, if you enjoyed the episode, is to leave it like a like or a rating or a review. Just because, we're trying to get this podcast off the ground, and any kind of rating or review or like even would help out a lot. So thank you for watching. If you stuck with me to the end here, I appreciate your time and attention. I hope this was worth your time and attention. And feel free to let me know if you have any future suggestions for episodes as well. So without further ado, thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode. Peace out.